You started as an app developer and then you moved into analytics and now into marketing.
So I would give the credit to the desire of learning. Marketing is no more a one-way street or a one-way channel. Customer in today's time, they are interacting with the content with 10 different mediums.
Now, when it comes to demand generation, how do you really measure it?
There's a lot of metrics which can help you actually gauge your performance in terms of your demand generation efforts. We are living in the world of data. You have so much data at your disposal. Use it. AI tools are there, exploit them. Ensure sales and marketing alignment. Oh, this is so important. Both of them are actually working towards a common goal. So why you are keeping them separate? Ensure that they're deeply aligned and working together to get you where you want to be. To understand, but most difficult to implement, this means never stop trying. It's not necessary that all of your actions will bring the results immediately. But one thing you have to do is you don't have to stop trying. You keep trying, eventually things will follow in place and you get the required result.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the B2B Marketing Podcast, presented by B2B World Summit and powered by Brand Story Digital. This is where we'll talk about trends, strategies that are shaping the future of B2B marketing. I'm your host, Saikat Das Mohanty, and today we are discussing a very, very important topic. Beyond the funnel, the evolution of B2B marketing. Joining us today is Tanmay Gupta, leader, RGM Analytics, Personal Health at Philips. Hello, Tanmay, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Saikat, for having me here. I'm really honored to be on board this podcast and looking forward to a conversation.
Fantastic. And before we move on, Tanmay, I have a very interesting question for you. Okay, and I've been looking at your LinkedIn profile. I think you started as an app developer, and then you've moved into kind of a IT and development as your journey, and then you moved into analytics and now into marketing. So how has this journey been? From an app development to a marketing function role. So how has this journey been for you, and what are the changes that you've been seeing?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and first of all, thanks for the kind words. So I would give the credit to the desire of learning. Right? So since I said childhood, I always had a desire to learn. So my belief is that the learning shouldn't stop with your job, right? Job is just part of your life, right? And nobody is stopping you to learn and grow ahead in your career.
Absolutely.
So when I was learning, so I think things happened on their own, right? I started my career as an application developer, but then I developed interest in analytics. That took me to the path of data science and analytics. Down the line, then I was introduced to the marketing, which was all by chance.
Right.
But I'm really fortunate to be kind of riding that wave. And then during that path, I also felt I still can learn more. So I enrolled for a PhD. So it's a job plus PhD, and I think I'm really loving the momentum with which it's going. And I think I wish it remains the same way all my life.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You're doing a PhD. Very interesting to know.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And with that point, what you mentioned is learning never stops. And I think it's not just for us. I think the marketing funnel is also the same thing. It's also evolving. It is learning every day. Okay, and that's what we will be talking also today. So coming to that point, the traditional marketing funnel has been this whole IDA model, awareness, interest, and all of that. Okay, and that model has been followed by everybody.
True.
I believe B2C brands have evolved, and they have taken this model to a very different level now. Okay, because they have changed with the way the consumer is behaving. However, when it comes to B2B marketers, I think this model is still evolving, and I think it is evolving, and I think it needs a lot more that needs to be done in this space. So what are your thoughts and experience that you have from a B2B perspective when it comes to the marketing funnel and its evolution?
Very deep question, I would say. And so what I see is, I see this marketing funnel is one of those rare concepts which has stood the test of time across generations. Right?
Yeah.
So I would say this marketing funnel is like one of those rare classical novels, right? The novels which keeps updating themselves with generation, right?
Yeah.
Be it a new cover,
Right.
be it some new forwards,
Right.
Couple of additional chapters adding more climax,
Okay.
but the crux remains the same,
Right.
And that's what this marketing funnel has gone through.
Correct.
So if we talk about history, and as you rightly mentioned, it was year 1898 when one of the marketing pioneers, Saint Elma Lewis, he sketched 4 boxes on a paper.
Right.
He named them awareness, interest, decision, and action.
Right.
Famously known as
Yes.
IDA model.
IDA model. Yes.
And it became the heartbeat of every B2B marketer
Correct.
to take the decision, or for buyers and sellers to refer to. We move a little ahead in time, comes year 1924. There's another marketeer, goes by the name William Townsend. What he did is, he visualized this IDA model as a funnel.
Right.
Okay. When he kind of visualized it as a funnel, he could see the leads entering from the top and trickling down through the bottom, where though their needs were also addressed at different points in time.
Correct.
And this gave birth to our very dear marketing funnel.
Right. Right.
We'll little move ahead. We reach to the mid 20th century.
Right.
Now there, by this time, our marketeers, our scholars, right, our practitioners, they evolved this concept,
Right.
And they realized that this is not something which works similar for everyone, right? They came up with this concept of segmenting the market, right?
Right.
So different group of people or different customer segments needs to be handled a little bit differently. Not just that, I think one of the major psychological shift was that they move from what to buy to why to buy.
Yeah.
Right? And that eventually gave birth to consumer needs.
Right. Yes.
And consumer needs did change the game in a very kind of major manner. Towards the end of century, we were already riding the digital wave. And by this time, your emails, pay-per-clicks, tracking the leads became normal, right?
Yeah.
Every marketer was able to do that.
Correct.
So that gave a lot of visibility and lot of you can say power in the hand of our marketers,
Right.
to see that how the customer is going through each of these stages, right? So in a way, our funnel became more personalized, more interactive, and more than that, it became very measurable. Now, if we're talking about the current times, the modern times, there are innumerable stages.
Right,
There are many stages, but primarily I feel they can be divided into 3 zones. One is tofu, not the paneer, but top of the funnel.
Yes.
Which is mainly about awareness.
Yes.
Then we have mofu, which is middle of the funnel, which is mainly about relationships. And third is the bottom of the funnel, which is primarily about
Conversions.
The other pivotal shift that I have felt is the journey now doesn't only stop at conversion, right? It's actually leading to a birth of second phase, which is mainly about your loyalty and your advocacy, right? You don't simply leave the hand of your customer once the sale is done.
Right.
You try to cater to their needs. You go deep into the relationship, right? You build that trust so that they become advocates, they become a fan of your brand, and eventually bring more leads for you.
Right. Right.
So I think we would agree that marketing is no more a one-way street or a one-way channel, right?
Not,
So customer in today's time, they are interacting with the content with 10 different mediums, right? So you have to be an omni-channel brand, right? Not just omni-channel, you have to ensure that the content is seamless,
Right.
friction-free across all these mediums, right? So that consumer is having a very smooth and seamless experience.
Right.
So all in all, I would say this our dear funnel, it has stood the test of time. Because it was simple enough, it was adaptable, and it showed that for marketers, it's no more just a customer first. It's more about, you can say, people first.
Yeah.
So I think that's how it has evolved in all these
Very
years.
interesting. Very interesting, and good to know about the way from when the IDA model was, introduced.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think the funnel has kind of evolved
Yes.
very much.
Yes.
You mentioned about the funnel, which is tofu, mofu,
Yeah,
and bofu,
yeah,
which is what we do right
Correct,
now.
correct.
But I think I was also reading a very interesting report.
Yeah.
I think it was by Gartner, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
A very interesting report, and I think there are 4 new key pillars that has come up. Okay, and these are called the 4 S's.
Okay.
Okay, they are stream, scroll, search, and shop. Okay, this is how the consumer today behaves.
Yes.
They're streaming,
yes.
they're scrolling, they're searching, and they're shopping. Okay, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think relatively this is correct when it comes to a consumer brand. Absolutely fine, and this is what consumer does.
Yeah.
Okay, but when it comes to B2B buyers,
Yeah.
is it what do you think is going to be the similar thing? And the reason I'm also asking you is because in one of the studies, the B2B buyers are also changing. Okay, they are no more the traditional buyers anymore.
Yes.
Okay, they are these whole Gen Zs and the millennials, which comprise I think about 71% of that B2B buyers. And I think going forward, this will become more younger. So in that case,
Very true.
In that case, how do you really see this kind of behavior within a B2B landscape? Okay, and do you think B2B brands should start following this kind of start following the 4 S's, or probably start thinking about it that okay, I need to do something here. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. So let me start with an analogy. Okay. Think this marketing ecosystem as a theme park. Okay.
Yeah.
And customers as your visitors.
Right.
Okay. So in a traditional funnel methodology, okay, there used to be a straight line they used to follow, right?
Correct.
You enter at the top, you awareness, IDA, thing, right? But now, if we talk about the theme park, right, when the visitors enter, okay, everyone has their own desires, right? Some will go direct to a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
Few will go to water rides. Few can go to a cafe.
Right.
A few might simply just tag along with their friend and sit in a corner and chit chat for long. So the idea is that everyone comes with their own desires, okay, their own likes, their own dislikes.
Right.
And as a brand, my job is to ensure that my theme park is running efficiently and smoothly. And how do we do that? By ensuring that each of my customer is taken care, right? Each of these customer is greeted, okay? They feel welcomed. And moreover, they feel so valued that even if they go back to their home, they feel like coming back, not just alone, but along with their friends and families.
Right.
So that's how I think the marketing has evolved.
Right.
And that's the kind of vision that we should be having in our mind. See, if we talk about the Gen Z that you mentioned, right? So it's very correct. See, Gen Z, as we talk, they value a lot directness,
Right.
authenticity, right? And I think so. Your content should actually reflect all those those values when you talk about marketing. So in a way, I would say the focus has actually kind of changed from business first to people first.
Okay.
Now coming to B2B, I think trust and relationship plays a very important role.
Right.
Because as I just explained a minute earlier, we are talking about this tofu, mofu and bofu, right?
Yeah.
So if I just give another couple of minutes around there. So when we talk about, let's say, tofu at the top of the funnel, so the important thing is your content.
Right.
And the content, it varies from blogs, it varies from your videos, could be a podcast. So the idea is that you are making the customer aware of your presence.
Right.
That you are there. Right? And that's just kind of ringing the bell in the mind of the people that there is this brand which exists and kind of doing that.
Right.
Coming to the MOFU or the middle of the funnel, things get starting serious, And the focus becomes on building the relationships, building the trust, right? The content also changes from blogs to more specific, you can say webinars, to very specific or detailed content for, let's say, particular segment. Could be like engineers could be interested in very technical thing. A leadership could be interested in overall change that could bring. And then comes the bottom part, which is bottom of the funnel. This is where the rubber meets the road, the conversion happens, and your content changes to free trials, product demos. Because what you want to do is you want to remove in this stage any hesitation the customer has, and ensure that they are actually buying or kind of show a real interest in your product and end that interest into an eventual sale.
Right.
So if I have to portray that how it has changed from let's say traditional to current modern thing, I can say that there could be 4-5 parameters that we can quickly go through. So first is of course stages, right? So earlier it was more about those 3-4 stages, but now it's a series of micro stages, right?
Correct.
Then second is your channel, right? So earlier it was very siloed or one channel, right? But now it's omni-channel.
Right.
You have to be present in everywhere. Then comes the acquisition. So earlier funnel was just focused on acquisition, but the current scenario demands not just acquisition but retention, but advocacy, right? And that loyalty. Right? Similarly, you further want. The idea is that you kind of move from the business first and then go to the relationship and the people first. And in that manner, I would say, few smart brands, they're actually working towards demand generation.
Right.
So demand generation is actually, you can say, that feeling or that concept, right, which creates the awareness. It builds that trust and the relationship in the mind of the customer. Correct. So that the end goal is not just creating those sales. End goal is you want to retain
and then create a value, give a value.
Absolutely. So you have to value that buy as not just as a client or as a sale. It's as value you have to as a relationship that you want to preserve, right? Because eventually, it also helps you, because as I was mentioning, it has become circular.
Right.
If they value you, if they become your advocate, they will eventually end up bringing in more people and more leads for you. So that's a win-win situation for you. Correct.
So that's a very interesting point, and I really like the analogy of the theme park. I think everybody comes with different desires and different needs, and therefore we cannot just follow the same linear way of looking at things. Very interesting. You also mentioned about demand generation. I think that's I think the need of the hour today, especially for B2B brands. Okay, B2C brands do it a lot. Correct. They follow the funnel in a very interesting way. It's very and people know what they want, so it's very easy for them. But when it comes to B2B brands and in today's world, and where I mentioned about Gen Zs and millennials and all, who are well researched, they have researched about the brand, they know whom to go and work with, they know which vendor to select. Correct. So it's so in this case, I think demand generation becomes very, very important. Because they're already aware of it. So if I am not as a brand, if I am not there exactly when they are looking for or researching about me, then I think I have kind of missed the bus, right? So and the second point also is that today B2B decision making is not just a solo decision making. Probably earlier it was. It used to be with the CEO or with the main person, but today, as per one of LinkedIn's study, again I'm quoting the LinkedIn study here, there are about 22 people in a buyer group. Now, how do you really engage with these 22 people? And if you're not creating that demand, so you are not there in the minds of them. Absolutely. So my question is, so my point is that B2B brands today, I have seen focus purely on the bottom of the funnel. They miss the tofu and mofu. They focus on both, the bottom of the funnel, focusing on lead generation only, and that's what they do. Okay. So do you think, that strategy will continue? If they continue with that strategy, it's going to help them in the future, or they need to start rethinking about that strategy?
I love actually the way the conversation is shaping up.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, lead generation has always been a north star of B2B ecosystem,
It is.
right? And what it used to be that marketing team, they collect the prospects and they hand it over to the sales team. So there was a clear line defined.
Correct.
Right? Okay, fine. So now let's take an example and try to understand it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So imagine you are standing at a lake, okay, with a fishing rod in your hand, and you throw the fishing line into the pond, okay, with of course a bait in that line. Okay?
Yeah.
Now what will happen? You'll have fishes reaching out to that bait and start nibbling on the food.
Yes.
Now this is lead generation because you were selling something that they were looking out for.
Correct.
Fine. But the hard fact is there's just 5% of the fishes that you are able to cater to. Okay. Rest 95%, they're swimming deep across the river. Right? So you need a strategy to stir the whole pond, okay, so that these remaining 95%, they come and interact with you. They know your presence. I'm not telling that they will come and simply eat the food, but they will know, okay, there is some delicious food up there, which when I need, I can have it. Yeah. That's demand generation.
Correct. And it's basically to be in the consideration stage.
To do the consideration stage. So, see, the brands need to understand today that customer is very well informed today, right? They have access to lot of media, lot of information. So they don't want to be kind of thrown in with the sales pitches, right?
Right.
They're well informed. So all they need is, and what brand should focus on, it's creating the awareness.
Right.
Creating the awareness which is subtle, right? But which kind of connects emotionally to them.
Yeah.
So that even though me and you don't have a need for that product, but we are aware that there is such brilliant product out there in the market. Whenever the need comes, I know where to look out for.
Correct.
Right? And to create that awareness, you then have to basically open up or become more transparent in terms of what you do. Okay. So it's not simply what great product you have, because for every brand, their product is great. But you go one layer inside, you open the hood in front of them. Okay, why this is great? Okay, because if everyone can access the information, if you are not doing that, some other brand is doing that. But the thing is, you have to make them informed. And as you rightly said, the focus is on those little bit of mofos and a lot of bofos.
Yeah.
So this demand generation, it sits right on top of this, on top of the thing, right? And that's where it creates that required value, be in terms of awareness, be in terms of building that trust, be in terms of building the relationship, and so on.
Right.
So I think that the important point for people to understand is that it's never versus that is it lead generation versus demand generation. They're integrated.
Correct.
Yeah? So your demand generation, it creates the awareness, it brings the people, right? Then once those people have enough confidence on your brand, enough trust on your brand, the work of the lead generation starts. Right?
Correct.
So the good brands, they actually blend in and refine these two strategies, and then that's how excel into the business.
Right.
A simple rule which brand could use actually is that whenever they are entering fresh or coming up with a new product, their go-to strategy should be demand generation.
Yeah.
But once they have matured enough and they have created enough name for that, then they can lean on towards lead generation. So the idea is, it's not that lead generation is bad or is it a pastime. No, the thought is the lead generation will become more stronger when you put demand generation along with it.
Right.
So that's how they should work.
Got it. Interesting point. I think And one more thing I think is also you mentioned about matured brands and new brands and all of that. What I think is that even if you become a matured brand and that people know me, that doesn't mean that we should not be focusing on demand gen.
Yes.
Because people's memory are short now. Okay.
Correct.
And they are bombarded with so many communication and all of that. Even if people know you, tomorrow they will not. Okay. So I think in my view, while both complement each other, I think there has to be a strategy of long-term presence versus short-term presence. I think that probably is going to be the thing that B2B brands need to do. There has to be a long-term thing that I'm going to create my brand's saliency and all. And then
that's a very interesting point you brought, that as you mentioned, so lead generation was very short-term in terms of...
It is a short-term thing, yeah.
And when you talk about demand generation, it's a long-term vision, right?
Correct.
You're looking, you're building that relationship, right? And then that might not give you result immediately, but if you think from a long-term perspective, it's very rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not very sure, this is again just a guesswork. I'm saying I think 95% of the leads that we get today are of no use. Okay. 5% is what is useful.
Bang on. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sales people have their own targets. Okay. They have their own accounts to go after.
Right.
They don't care about the marketing leads that they get because
Correct.
they said, okay, these are just marketing leads. I am not interested.
Right.
I am interested in my accounts. Okay. So from that context, if you look at lead generation versus demand generation, I think marketing as a function should focus on demand more.
Absolutely.
And then try to bring in the that will probably get them
that's
better.
The need of the hour. I mean, you can't skip that, right?
Yes.
If you are not doing that, then you are definitely lagging behind in the race for all the reasons.
Yes, perfect. I think very, very, very interesting. I think so. So now that we've spoken about demand generation, lead generation, now let me come to a topic of your interest. Okay. You've been into analytics and all, so for you, data and everything is very important.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the what about measurement here? Okay. Now we talked about demand and all of that. Now lead generation is very easy to measure. Okay. I have my CPL, I have my MQL, I have my CPCs, and all the metrics that you name, and it is all there. Okay. Now when it comes to demand generation, how do you really measure it? What are the key? One is quantifiable measurement and one is qualitative. So can you throw some light on that? What are the kind of measurement that people should be looking at?
Absolutely. So again, I mean, going by my nature, so I would start with a simple example. So think of your demand generation is a seed that you have just planted, right? So when a seed is planted, you don't expect the fruit to come next day, right? You have to nurture that seed. You have to wait it to grow into a plant, to tree, and then kind of eventually give you the fruits.
Right.
So that's the mindset should be. Now coming to metrics. So yes, even though it's a bit far-sighted, but definitely there's a lot of metrics which can help you actually gauge your performance in terms of your demand generation efforts.
Right.
So the first of metric could be awareness. So awareness in terms of how good is your brand doing on different social media channels, for example. And how you do that? You do that by going through the followers. How many followers your brand or your content has been able to generate, right? Apart from followers, you can also look at the reach, the individual users who has been, who basically have been able to go through your content. So this gives you a broader idea, okay, that how people are reacting to your content and how are they finding useful. The next important metric would be your growth in your web traffic. See, website is a very, very crucial your entity in today's time, which I personally feel like a lot of B2B firms still ignore.
Absolutely, agree.
That's the first touch point any customer has when he learns about your name or your business.
Right.
So you can't basically take a second chance, right? Your first impression is a first impression, right? Your second impression can't be the first impression. So when you're talking about web traffic, so you have to ensure that your website is it brings that value, it has that you can say edge, which can attract people, not just in kind of look and feel, but in terms of content it's showing.
Also. Yeah.
And so because people, let's say, have or these potential buyers have heard about your name in different media channels, so they expect that the website, the core website of the company, will kind of answer all their questions.
Absolutely.
So web traffic is another important metric
Right.
that you can't ignore. Next comes the repeatability, or you can say the loyalty.
Right.
And how do you measure it? You see how many are the repeat visitors on your content. You have content across different mediums, you have blogs, you have videos. You see how many people are referencing your content again and again. That gives you the confidence that the content that I'm putting there has the potential.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So no, there are. I mean, I now that we're talking, I just kind of remember a couple more metrics, if I can talk about them.
Yes. Please.
So another is, I can say the authority, right? And when I say authority, it's the how much your content is able to turn some big heads in the market.
More from a thought leadership standpoint.
More from a thought leadership point.
Yeah.
So if you see a senior leader or a experienced practitioner is talking about the content which you have put out there, or for example, there is some content published in some research paper, right, which has referenced your thing. So that means you are on the right track, and that gives you all the required push that you can have, right?
Got it.
And finally, you have to identify which is your top performing content, because that justifies that how good you have been in kind of curating your content. Are you moving in the right direction?
Right.
So I think these are a couple of those metrics which can eventually help you to at least get started with this journey and of course improvise over a period of time.
Great. I think very, very valid point. I think I really like the point on the website traffic.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. Website is my first. It's like, when I, going by your way of example, when you go to look for a bride or a groom, the first, or for an interview also, your first look actually defines who you are.
Correct.
And exactly, the website is my company's first look. If it does not have the right content, if it does not have the right look and feel, it does not engage with me as a consumer, then I'm completely out of your mind. So I think website is very important.
It is. I mean, you can't take second chances. You can't put it sideways, because no matter how good your product or business is, if you are not able to sell it, or if you're not able to make an impression on people's mind, then there's no good in having a good product.
First impression lasts longer. That's the mantra.
And it works always.
Yes, absolutely. And give me some examples of some of the best B2B brands that you've seen from a website perspective. What are the best ones that you've seen who have really done a great work in terms of it?
So I think one name that just comes on top of my mind in terms of B2B is like a website called as HubSpot.
Yeah.
So they have definitely upped their game.
Yeah.
Okay. And why they actually, if you go to their website and content, they actually, I can say, talk a lot about demand generation. Right. So it's the awareness that they want to create, and they invested their R&D a lot in there.
Right.
Similarly, there is a website. There's again a company which is a work company called as Monday.com. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are some of few names actually. Which are
Monday is also very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. So I think these are few names which have done a really good job in kind of upping their game there, right? And they are seeing the results. More importantly, I think that's what counts.
Got it.
So,
interesting. Yeah. And from a measurement standpoint, when you're talking about demand generation, one point that comes to my mind, and it's probably a new matrix that we're looking at now also, is marketing qualified accounts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We've always looked at marketing qualified leads. Okay,
yes.
which is there, and it's a very important metric for sure.
True.
But now I think the new thing that has come is marketing qualified accounts. How are the accounts really engaging with you over a period of time? And that becomes my key accounts to go after, because I can actually go back to the sales team and say that hey guys, this account is what has been engaging with us. These are the kind of people who are engaging, and this is the number of times they're engaging with me, which becomes very, very interesting. And I think that's something that is new, that has started coming.
And it's getting all the right you can say traction, and in all the right measures. So it's a very crucial you can say metric, or the behavior that you cannot simply ignore.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody is engaging with my account, I think they're interested in the results. They're interested. I need to build a nurture path to obviously keep connecting with them. Great, fantastic. I think measurement is important, and I think you have some very interesting aspects going in there. So what I'm really hearing from you right now is, Tanmay, is that it is really time now for brands to make that shift. And many brands are leading that way, okay, and I can probably name few of them, or probably one which I really like. Probably Salesforce is one of the brands which does a great work.
Thanks for bringing it up.
They're not just focusing on the tofu part of it. They're focusing on the entire journey. Okay, starting from the content to their website to how are they engaging with the people and all of that. I think they're doing a great job. So in your view, if you have to make a shift, what do you think, from a strategy, from a content communication perspective, what should brands start doing now, and what should they start looking at? I'm sure a lot of brands would be doing it, but how do you really make this new marketing funnel successful?
No, it's a very interesting, at the same time, very important question, I think. And I would say, I've come up with an abbreviation for that, which is called as Engage Plan, right? I'll just dive into what each of these alphabet means.
Engage plan.
Okay. And then you'll see how you come up with the whole plan, uncovering in step by step.
Right.
So I'll just have to refer this.
Sure, absolutely.
This chit, where I have expanded these names. So we start with E. E stands for embrace the non-linear journey.
Okay.
We talked in our the theme par example.
Yes.
Journey is no more linear, predefined a straight line, right?
Correct.
It's non-linear in all the manners, right? And it connects back to that account-based marketing example that you were talking about.
Yes.
Right? So, when you are reaching out, right? When you are building your journey, you have to be kind of ensuring that you cater to the demands of different kind of customers you are engaging, or the different profile that you are engaging, right? So the first is embrace non-linear journey. Comes N. N means nurture engagement at every touch point.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So you have so many touch points, right? And then you can't simply kind of ignore any of them, right? So consistency is the key. So no matter how many channels you have content on, right? You have to ensure that it's consistent, right? It's relatable, and it's frictionless for the prospective or these dormant customers to consume,
right?
So that if they're seeing something on Instagram and once they go to website, they shouldn't find that it was something old or website is not updated.
Correct.
That will create a very false impression.
Yes. A lot of brands actually have seen that their social media content is different, whereas when you go to the website, it's completely old.
So I mean,
not updated.
A lot of brands, as you mentioned. So once they understand, Instagram is something of today. So they invest heavily on the Instagram, but they totally forget that we have website. But that's a short way of failing. Then comes G. G means guide, content, and communication. Right?
Okay.
The content you have, that's your king.
Yes. Content is the king.
Because the customer is still not looking for you, so your content should sell itself, right? Should talk of innovation, should talk of the new things that you're bringing on, should be transparent and say easy enough for the consumers to consume.
Correct.
So that's why, so your content and communication plays definitely
Yeah.
a lot important part.
Yeah. And also the content should also be very engaging.
Very engaging. Yeah,
Sometimes people do this kind of content which you're saying, but it's kind of boring. You lose interest. Because they still probably think the buyers are the old generation, which is now moved. So I think it also needs to be very, very engaged. Immersive kind of a content.
Very true. I think what you said is that don't create content for the sake of it.
Don't create it. Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Your competitor brand is doing something, so I'll also write a blog.
Correct.
It won't sell.
It doesn't make sense. Yes.
Well, unless you have put your heart in it, nobody is going to kind of read it.
Correct.
And that is evident. I mean, as you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, our attention span are very small.
Correct.
Right? So don't expect customers or prospective buyers to read a 15-minute blog which you have simply chat GPT'd or asked an AI to write. Right? So this won't sell. I mean, in first 3 or 4 lines, consumer will understand that where is it coming from.
Exactly.
Moving on, we have something called as activate community and partnerships.
Yes.
So once you have, let's say, some buyers of your product, you have to, we mentioned that the relationship doesn't end there, right?
Correct.
So you have to ensure that you bring those buyers back, or you ask them for feedback, you ask them for reviews, you bring in those social influencers, right? So that way you create that community, you create that partnership, which creates more awareness and which gives you that much required traction.
Right.
Then I have something called as which is very personal, close to me, is gather data and personalize using AI.
Yeah.
We are living in the world of data.
Correct.
So you can't simply work on your instinct.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Instincts are good, but once you have so much data at your disposal,
Right.
use it.
Yes.
You have so many tools out there, AI tools are there, exploit them.
Yes.
Right? I mean, we talked in one of our earlier conversation about this lead scoring model.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
Correct.
you don't have to simply believe the hunch, right? There is data. You apply some analytics on top of that. You'll
Correct.
get a sure shot probability model.
Correct.
And you can do it in a lot of marketing processes now. Right? So data is something you absolutely have to kind of work
Correct.
with. Right?
Correct.
Then we call about ensure sales and marketing alignment. Oh, this is so important.
Absolutely.
The traditional companies, right? They were so. They always worked in the siloed manner.
Correct.
Right? But given the current times, or given the changing times, they have to kind of work hand in hand. The marketing team should have full knowledge about what are the sales goal,
Absolutely.
and what sales is getting feedback, it should be given to the marketing.
Correct.
So both should know what each other is doing.
Correct.
They should have even common goals. They should have common alignment meetings,
Right.
so that because see, both of them are actually working towards a common goal.
Common goal, yeah.
So why you are keeping them separate? Ensure that they're deeply aligned and working together to get you where you want to be.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Then the final 4 won't take much time.
Yeah.
It starts with P. P is progress measurement beyond leads. Very important.
Yes. This is important.
So
Most important
lead
point.
generation has always been about volume.
Correct.
But what this new age method is telling, volume is fine, but value even plays kind of higher. You should value the not just the volume, it's the overall value that you should cater to the needs, right? I mean, we talked about all those different metrics around awareness and web traffic and all that, right? So they might not be immediate leads, but the kind of value and the kind of interest and the kind of trust they generate, that is far beyond the normal volume.
Correct. Correct.
And then live your brand values, which directly relates to the Gen Z that we spoke about.
Correct.
Right? So Gen Z, as we know, they are more about authenticity, directness, right? And all these things. So once your brand is kind of putting out any content out there, it should be authentic in itself. It should be transparent. And of course, it should be direct with no kind of beating around the bush.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And the final is achieve seamless omni-channel experience. Right. So I mean that we have, I think, elaborated enough that no matter how many channels you are, it should be seamless.
It has to be seamless.
And final, it's most simple to understand, but most difficult to implement. This means never stop trying. Right. No matter, as we spoke about, that it's a seed that it's still nurturing. Okay. It's not necessary that all of your actions will bring the results immediately. But one thing you have to do is you don't have to stop trying. You keep trying, eventually things will follow in place and you get the required results.
Perfect.
So I think that completes my Engage Plan dictionary.
Fantastic. I think that's a very interesting way of sharing how to engage in the new marketing funnel, Engage Plan. I think this is for our viewers also. They should focus on I think these aspects when it comes to moving beyond the funnel. Okay. Sure. So Tanmay, thank you so much for sharing your very, very valuable insights. I think it's clear that the funnel is not dead yet. Okay, it's evolving and it will keep on evolving. Okay, with AI and with new technology, data, and all of that, I think it's going to be more interesting going forward. And we as marketers, we need to start adapting to those changes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And I think whole mantra of marketing to keep customer at the center, I think that still continues to be there, is what I'm hearing. It's they are the heart of the funnel. Okay.
Absolutely.
And this they will discover you, they will engage with you, but are you ready as a brand to be discovered and to be engaged with them? That's a question for the brand marketers in terms of how they really want to do it. Okay. So my last point, that what I'm taking from here from our conversation, one is do not chase behind just leads. Okay, you need to create your demand. Okay, that's very, very important.
Absolutely.
Do not keep creating content or things as it's
for the sake of it.
For the sake of it. Okay. Finally, get your Engage Plan ready. Okay. So that's one of the most important point. Okay. Thank you so much, Tanmay, for that. Thank you for tuning into the B2B Marketing Podcast. It was great having Tanmay with us today and having this wonderful discussion. For more such conversations with industry leaders and insights, join us at the B2B World Summit and Awards 2026 on March 20th in Bangalore. And until then, keep looking beyond the funnel, keep your customer at the center of your funnel. Thank you so much.